Starting over is not admitting defeat. It's declaring courage. Every new beginning is not a sign that you failed. It's a testimony that you refuse to give up. God is not a God of endings. He is a God of renewals. When you think the story has reached its final chapter, He begins to write again with hands full of grace. What you call an ending, heaven calls a restart. The author of life never runs out of ink. He specializes in rewriting stories covered in tears, regrets, and brokenness, transforming them into testimonies of redemption and purpose. There are seasons when you lose everything you thought you needed. Relationships, jobs, dreams, stability, and it feels like life pressed the reset button without your consent. But even in that silence, God is preparing the soil for something new. You might be surrounded by ashes, but God's breath can turn ashes into beauty. He doesn't rebuild what was destroyed. He creates something better from what seemed lost. His mercy doesn't renovate the ruins. It builds a new foundation from hope. Sometimes starting over doesn't look like a miracle. It looks like getting out of bed when your heart wants to stay asleep. It looks like making coffee with trembling hands, whispering a short prayer, or sending a message to make peace with someone you hurt. Heaven celebrates small steps because every small step toward light defeats the darkness that tried to paralyze you. God doesn't measure your progress by speed, but by direction. Every quiet act of faith is a loud declaration to the spiritual world. I'm still standing because He still sustains me. Maybe you've looked at your life and thought, it's too late. I've wasted too much time. But God does not count time the way humans do. When He restores, He redeems time. He brings back lost opportunities, broken relationships, and forgotten dreams in ways that seem impossible. What you thought was a delay was actually divine preparation. God is never in a hurry, but He is always on time. The very moment you surrender the pen of your story into His hands, He begins to write lines that only eternity could imagine. Sometimes the greatest act of faith is to try again after failure, to believe again after disappointment, to love again after being hurt, to dream again after being broken. The human heart is fragile, but God's hands are gentle. He takes every shard of your past and molds it into something beautiful. He is not asking you to be perfect. He is asking you to be willing. Because every miracle starts with willingness, the willingness to get up, to believe, to start again. There are mornings when your prayer is just a whisper, when you don't know what to say, and all you can do is breathe. That's enough. God hears even the sighs of your soul. Your silence is a language He understands. The tears that fall on your pillow are not ignored. They are seeds of restoration being watered in secret. Every tear that falls carries a message. I still trust you, even when I don't understand. And heaven responds to that trust with grace, the kind of grace that rebuilds what pain tried to destroy. Starting over is not weakness. It's strength disguised as surrender. It's looking at the ruins and saying, I still believe there's something beautiful that can come from this. You see, God doesn't just open doors. He builds new ones. When one chapter closes, it's not rejection, it's redirection. Every ending is a sacred invitation to rediscover purpose, to find beauty in the unknown, and to trust the hands that hold tomorrow. You don't need to have everything figured out. Faith doesn't demand understanding. It invites trust. You may not know where the road leads, but if you walk with God, you'll never walk in darkness. The journey might be uncertain, but the destination is secure. Because the one who called you to start again is also the one who promised to finish what He began. Every small act of courage, every prayer, every breath, every choice to stand builds a bridge between your pain and your purpose. The same God who was with you in the storm is waiting for you in the sunrise. The valley you walked through wasn't meant to bury you. It was meant to plant you. And now, from that soil of loss, God will grow something greater than you ever imagined. When you start again, you partner with heaven. You agree with God's vision for your life, a vision where nothing is wasted. Even your mistakes become materials for miracles. Even your scars become testimonies that speak louder than fear. You are not behind. You are right where God wants to reveal something new. So breathe, lift your head, wipe your tears. The story isn't over, it's just turning a divine page. The author hasn't finished writing. Every new sunrise is an invitation to start again, to believe again, to hope again. Do not despise the day of small beginnings, because small beginnings often hold the seeds of eternal purposes. God delights in using the ordinary to perform the extraordinary. Maybe today your re-beginning looks simple, a smile, a prayer, a deep breath of courage. But in heaven, that small act echoes like thunder. Because faith doesn't always roar. Sometimes it simply whispers, "I'll try again." And when you whisper that, all of heaven moves to meet you. You don't have to rebuild what you lost. You only have to rebuild your trust. God will take care of the rest. He will send the right people, open the right doors, and close the wrong ones. What is broken will become beautiful again, not because you forced it, but because you surrendered it. The greatest victories often begin in silence, when you choose peace over panic, prayer over pride, faith over fear. That's where God works best, in quiet hearts that still dare to believe. No matter how many times you've fallen, stand up again. God's grace is not limited by your failures. He does not see you as the person you were yesterday, but as the masterpiece He is shaping today. Every sunrise carries a message from heaven. You have another chance. Let this be your declaration, not of defeat, but of renewal. You are not starting from zero. You are starting from experience, from strength, from faith. The story that once broke you will one day inspire others to rise. If this message spoke to your heart, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs hope today. Subscribe for more powerful devotionals that remind you that God never gives up on you. Type, "I'm starting again with God," in the comments to declare your new beginning. Let heaven and earth witness your decision, because starting over with God by your side is not defeat. It's victory reborn,